Well, parents are very busy people. From multiple jobs to endless errands, it can be tough to keep the family close and maintain a strong bond. With some tips in this week's Keiki Talk, we're joined by psychologist Dr. Alana Coffey. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay,
Hi.
I think this is so important because, of course, a parent-child relationship is so important. So what tips do you have to strengthen that bond?
Right. Just talking about it this morning with someone near and dear to me, and I think the bottom line is communication and quality time, really carving out that special time to hang out with each other. And we're very busy people. I mean, kids are busy. They've got multiple activities. They're in school, trying to keep grades up. Parents have got jobs, sometimes more than one. So quality time is precious.
Okay.
It's very precious.
And how would you recommend, because again, a lot of us are very busy,
Right.
How would you recommend going about spending that quality time together?
Right. So, first of all, the devices that we all use, we might have to turn those off. I did talk to a mom earlier this week, and she just turned off the internet in her whole house. And so and then she said people were forced to come together. So one of the things that we can do is be wary or aware, at least, of the devices that we use. But we live in a beautiful state, so it doesn't need to be a lot of money. It's not an expensive venture to go for a hike or go to the beach. Or even if it's at home, projects around the house are really cool to do together. They go faster, they get done better. Turn on some music, some Spotify, and clean out that cupboard or clean out that garage. It doesn't have to be a chore. It can actually be a lot of fun if done together.
Yeah, there you go. It can be fun, and then also, again, it's mainly just carving out the time because it doesn't have to cost money. There are so many free things to do.
Right.
So I think it's just being disciplined about knowing that you have to set a specific time apart.
Right, and one of the other things, a little tip, is when you are hanging out, not to always talk about business, like grades and chores or the things that you're in trouble about, but as parents, you need to create a safe, comfortable environment in our home so the kids kind of want to hang out at home and not leave as soon as they can. And so we're not always scolding them, and we're not always talking about business. It's great to talk about like what's happening in the news or introduce them to a topic that they don't know, or even better yet, we join them in a topic that they're interested in. So like video games, are alarming, but I have played a couple with my son just, to be in his space.
And that communication, so important. So what other tips do you have? Because I think a lot of times, with parents and kids, if you ask them something, they just, with one-word answers. What communication tips would you have to kind of get deeper?
Right. Okay. That they're not these open-ended. So, are you okay? Yes, no, kind of a thing. So, if they can say yes or no, they're going to say yes or no.
Right.
So we ask them sort of an open-ended question like what, how, when. Don't ask why, because they'll be like, I don't know. But, what, when, and where kind of questions are great. But we need to be respectful, too. I know that as parents, we can sometimes be sassy, we can be short-tempered, we just jump all over them. So we need to sometimes be managing our own tone and our approach to them. And then they'll come and talk. Kids have a lot of things to say if we create a safe space for it.
And speaking of a safe space, trust and support are so important in relationships. How does that play out in a family setting?
Right. Well, trust... in a family, if they're coming and they're saying, Mom, I'm really, embarrassed about this. Can you, please talk to me about it? That they need to trust that I'm not going to scold them or shame them or really out them to other people, to other family members. So there's a lot of privacy, not secrecy, but privacy that children ask for, and support. They've got a lot to do. They've got school, they've got futures to contemplate. Many of the adolescents that I talk to, they have no idea what to do or what they might want to even do. So they need a lot of support from us to bridge to activities, to bridge to other community members and things like that. So they need our support.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Okay, you mentioned that parents can be sassy. But let's be real, the kids can be sassy too,
Oh,
right?
yes, they can.
So when we do have this conflict, when there are fights, how would you suggest, I guess, coming to a resolution?
I'm probably the worst one to ask because I get sassy back. That's just my nature. It's to kind of like, what, But I do have this other co-parent who's mellower. And thank goodness, because he's like, manage your timing. So the timing is really important. If I give 5, 10, 15 minutes break, that doesn't mean I've lost the argument. It just means I've allowed the tempers to settle down a little bit so that reason and logic can get put back into the situation. But, my nature is to go right back at it. But, I do have some backup myself at home. And I think that's important too as parents. If you need some co-parenting support, ask for it. You know, we're the therapists here. That's why we're here, is to help and give tips. And a lot of things that I tell parents when they come and see me, they're already doing, and they feel really encouraged that they are doing it and they're on the right track and on the right page. And then there's every now and then there's a thing that I can add that just makes it all better.
There you go. Just makes it better.
A little bit better.
All right,
yeah.
wonderful. Well, thank you so much,
Have a
Dr.
great
Coffey,
weekend.
for joining us. And you have a good weekend,
Thank
too.
you.
Finally Friday.